And I'm Chris Pinson. Today is Friday, October 9th. We have breaking news happening right here on campus. The fraternity Alpha Tau Omega is under investigation by the university for hazing allegations. UCF officials put the fraternity on interim suspension Tuesday. Officials say the swift action is to preserve the health and safety of all individuals. The fraternity can petition the suspension before the university conduct panel on November 20th at 1 p.m. We will keep you updated as more details surface. Between Twitter and Facebook posts, a lot of people are still talking about the outcome of the presidential election. I got the chance to speak with some UCF students about how they felt after Election Day wrapped up. Now that Election Day is over, and President Barack Obama is still the commander at America's helm, many UCF students feel very different about the end result.
I'm happy that people are finally getting to express themselves over a social media basis instead of being restricted from talking about their ideals in line.
Well, I wanted Barack Obama to win, and he did.
Some students say they don't care who's in charge. They're just excited the campaign ads will finally stop running.
10. The ads were everywhere. They were annoying, very annoying.
But the central message from UCF students, like him or not, Obama is our leader.
He's the president. He's leading our nation. You should support that.
In Orlando, Chris Pinson, UCF Nightly News. This official incident report shows brothers of the Alpha Tau Omega fraternity locked pledges inside this house and forced them to drink alcohol, perform wall sits standing in freezing buckets of ice water, and inflicted physical punishment while pledges recited the fraternity's creed. Hundreds of Obama supporters lined up for hours just to hear former President Bill Clinton speak inside the Grand Ballroom. With today as the final Sunday Florida voters could get to the polls, those voters here in Seminole County lined up for hours to make sure their vote gets counted. With Black Friday still days away, find out why these shoppers reserve their spot well in advance. In the wake of the recent hazing-related death of FAMU drum major Robert Champion, and now the latest allegations arising at UCF involving alcohol and student abuse, it begs the question, how prevalent is hazing on college campuses? The website, hazingprevention.org, reports 55% of college students involved in clubs, teams, and organizations experience hazing. Dr. Linda DeRay, a psychotherapist, believes hazing is more prevalent than people realize.
Hazing seems to be a ritual to weed out the weakest of the bunch. Men are very frightened and I think threatened by weakness.
A study by the University of Connecticut reveals since 1970, at least one hazing-related death occurs each year on a college campus, and 82% of deaths from hazing involve alcohol. This official incident report shows brothers of the Alpha Tau Omega fraternity locked pledges inside this house and forced them to drink alcohol, perform wall sits standing in freezing buckets of ice water, and inflicted physical punishment while pledges recited the fraternity's creed. Dr. DeRay feels the process is an extreme practice of attempting to fit in.
Many therapists would consider hazing to be a sadistic kind of ritual that certain people go through, whether it's the military, whether it's fraternities, or etc., to formulate a very macho kind of culture.
Reporting in Orlando, Chris Pinson, UCF Nightly News. The hallway adjacent to the lobby of the Rosen Plaza Hotel overflowed with eager Democrats. Hotel officials say more than 2,000 people showed up to hear former President Bill Clinton speak. The 42nd Commander-in-Chief made the trip to Orlando after speaking Tuesday night to students at Florida International University, rallying support to re-elect President Obama to a second term in office. Sporting hats, buttons, and T-shirts promoting Obama, the supporters in attendance Wednesday reinforced Clinton's message of repairing the economy.
People need jobs, and that's one of the main things to them. We're looking for him to talk about work, because without work, you just can't make it.
Hundreds of Obama supporters lined up for hours just to hear former President Bill Clinton speak inside the Grand Ballroom. Many supporters believe Clinton's presidential experience and influence are beneficial for Obama.
People associate him with this great prosperity, and if he can successfully link that with Obama, I think that would be the key to Obama's win.
Clinton's speech focused on garnering support for President Obama. His camp says he will campaign in Florida one more time in October. Reporting in Orlando, Chris Pinson, UCF Nightly News. Hey Knights fans, I'm Chris Pinson. Let's take a look at what's going on in sports this week. Stepping into the ring, professional boxer Orlando Cruz recently made his first appearance in the ring since coming out as the first openly gay professional boxer. The Puerto Rican southpaw defeated Mexico's Jorge Pazos on October 19th at the Kissimmee Civic Center. Since going public with his sexuality on October 3rd, Cruz says he feels free. He also says he believes his fighting ability will not suffer from his personal decision.
Y cuando me trepo en un ring, soy un hombre.
And when I step in the ring, I'm a man.
As we step out of the ring, let's lace up those blue suede shoes and go walking in Memphis to see if the Knights could stay atop the East Division. UCF came into Saturday night's game undefeated in conference play. Star running back Latavius Murray made his first start for the Knights since suffering a shoulder injury against Akron, gashing the Tigers for 192 yards on 23 carries and 2 scores, leaving no doubt he was back at full strength. Quarterback Blake Bortles also put 2 touchdowns on the board as the Knights exited Graceland with the victory 35-17. Now, jumping ahead to this Saturday, UCF will play its second consecutive conference game on the road, taking on the Thundering Herd of Marshall in West Virginia. The Knights, 5-2 overall and 3-0 in conference play, lead the East Division by a single game over, you guessed it, Marshall. Coach O'Leary says the defense certainly has its work cut out for it Saturday night. Marshall averages 43 points a game and more than 550 offensive yards as well. In his weekly press conference, Coach O'Leary stressed how important it will be for the Knights to slow down Marshall's quick striking attack. And good news for Bowl fans. Coach O'Leary also announced the NCAA will not rule on UCF's appeal of sanctions until after the season, making the Knights bowl eligible. But if the appeal is denied, UCF will be forced to vacate their wins from this season. Following the bouncing ball, Conference USA coaches voted star forward Keith Clan preseason Conference Player of the Year. Last season, Clan averaged 14 points and 8 rebounds per game. Those numbers earned him a spot on the All-Conference USA First Team and the All-CUSA Defensive Team. Clant holds the school record for career blocks with 164 and also ranks 3rd in school history with 737 career rebounds. The big man won CUSA Player of the Week twice last season. Looking to stay in mid-season form, Tuesday, head football coach George O'Leary held his weekly press conference. O'Leary reflected on winning the first conference game of the season at home against East Carolina. He says he feels the team brings a lot of momentum to Saturday's matchup against heated conference rival Southern Miss. The Eagles come into Bright House Network Stadium with a goose egg in the win column on the season. But Coach labored on viewing every opponent equally and not looking ahead.
I anticipate a well of a ball game Saturday night.
And that's all the time we have for sports. Thanks for watching. Now back to you guys. Until then, have a great weekend, and we'll be here back again next Friday for Nightly News.